5:30, so we'll call to order this meeting for Monday, March 21st. Jordan, would you start us off with a roll call, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Remley.
Present.
Lunsman.
Present.
Rife.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Reinbold.
Present.
Langer.
Present.
Rux.
Present.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, guys. Wow. We should move to
Maybe
Where's
let's
the flag?
How long have we been here?
I'm not aware of any changes to this week's printed agenda, so I take a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Remley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Next order will be to approve the minutes of the last meeting, which was on March 7th. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Bunceness and a second from Councilman Remley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh, not Bunceness. Lunsman. You know, doing it for old time's sake over here. My second favorite, Dave. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. No one is signed up to speak at the open forum, so we'll move along to our consent calendar where we've got a number of items, including one of personal nature to myself, where I will be applying for a sign hanging permit. So I'll abstain from the vote on this one, I will say, but I would take a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Move to approve. Second.
The motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Ronayne. Jordan, would you give us a voice vote on that one due to my abstention?
Absolutely. Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
And I will abstain. The motion does pass. We'll move along to our new business where we have a public hearing and possible approval of a special one-day retail on-sale malt beverage license on April 1st, 2022, and community event permit for the Aberdeen Amateur Hockey Association, which does business as is doing business for this event as North Dakota Country Fest, which takes place at our Civic Arena on South Washington Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Remley and a second from Councilman Rux. Does anyone have anything to contribute on this item? All right. Jordan, would you give us a voice vote, please? Roll call vote.
Councilmember Rux.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our public hearing and possible approval of a special one-day retail on-sale liquor license for April 4th, 2022 at NVC, which is at 7th Avenue Southeast, May 12th at Interior Design Concepts on North Main, and on July 14th at the Sanford on 3rd Avenue Southeast for the Chamber of Commerce's Business After Hour events.
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Remley. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Lastly, with the public hearings, we've got one for special retail on-sale liquor license on March 25th through the 27th, as well as April 6th through the 10th for the Act 2, Inc., which does business as Aberdeen Community Theater at 415 South Main Street for their respective events.
Move to approve. Second.
A motion from Councilman Lunsman and a second from Councilman Reinbold. One last roll call vote on that one, would you, Jordan?
Councilmember Rux.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Lunsman.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the request approval for the SDRS reclassification of the Aberdeen Fire Rescue fire marshal position to Class B public safety membership, and Chief Weig is here to tell us about those details. What can you tell us?
Yeah, good evening. Historically, the Aberdeen Fire and Rescue's fire marshal position has been a Class A membership of the South Dakota retirement system. All of the members of the Fire and Rescue Department are under the Class B safety members, and except for the fire marshal position and the billing specialist. All other uniform fire marshals within the state of South Dakota currently fall under the South Dakota retirement system as a Class B membership. And I'm looking to change ours to follow along with that. There are 6 criteria that the council or that the South Dakota retirement system requests you to meet. And I believe we meet all those criteria. Along with those criteria, I have to get approval of, first myself, the department has to approve it, the city manager has to approve it, and then the council and the mayor have to approve it before I can move forward with the process. So I'm requesting your approval to move forward with the process of changing it to a Class B retirement membership.
Move to approve. Second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Renane.
It was Bunsness, but
Muncis. Got a motion from Councilman Renane, a second from Councilman Lenz.
but I would have one question if I could, Mayor.
Please do.
So I read the materials,
Sure.
and then I went to the statute to try to figure out the difference, and it looks to me as though Class B, the contribution is higher, not much, but it's a little bit higher annually for the city, but it looks as though the benefit amounts are substantially greater. Is that what we're doing?
Correct. The South Dakota retirement system for a Class B is at 8%. So the other Class A, I believe, is at a 5%. So it's an increase of 3% match.
Okay, and so in the materials, it said one of our considerations is retention and being able to get somebody to take that job in the future. And what you're doing is making it more attractive to a future employee.
Very correct.
Okay.
So, yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks. Any other questions from the council? Sounds good. Then I would, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on this one, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lensman,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
Sewell.
you.
Next, we've got the possible gift acceptance of a 2020 Chevy Camaro from Stephen Lust Automotive for the Aberdeen Police Department. And here to tell us a little bit about that is Chief McNeil.
Yeah,
Chief,
so
welcome.
thank you. So if you've noticed, if you've been at a community event or a policing event, National Night Out, or you know, maybe a DARE graduation, you've noticed there's been kind of a centerpiece to that, and it revolves around the car that I have parked outside. Many years ago, Stephen Lust and his business were gracious enough to donate a car that we're able to assemble and make it look similar to what a real police car would look like, and put some other neat graphics on it, and use it again as a centerpiece for community events and as a way to connect with the community and people and our youth. So our DARE instructors have used this car, and we use it again at a community event. So several years ago, Stephen Lust and his business created another lease for us, and we had a Camaro at the time. And when that lease was up, Stephen incredibly agreed that he was going to do a drawing for this Camaro, and the way that people would be eligible for this would be to install a home camera system or a camera system in their business. So to be eligible to win this Camaro, all you had to do was install a camera system in your house. And then he gave that Camaro away at the time our lease was done to a community member who installed that. So then after that lease was done, he graciously acquired this car and gave it to our police department, and we've used it ever since. So that leasing period is done now, and he'd like to donate that as a permanent fixture to our department. And you know, just incredible support from him and really all our business community. But again, a great asset to our department. We use it quite a bit. Whether you're a Ford person or a Dodge person or a Chevy, everyone can appreciate the fact that, you know, it's pretty amazing that a business owner would step up and allow us to use something like that. to be able to connect and build bonds with the community. So with that, if I could have Steve and Lee come up and just say a few words if you want.
No, I've got the title to it here, and it's a zero gift for me. There's not a tax consequence on this, but I don't want to hold the title to something that I don't want to write another lease on. And the lease payments were forgiven for the last 2 years. It's a 2020 Camaro. So I hope it just brings awareness to kids. I hope it brings them over to talk to the officers because it's kind of cool looking. You know, kids sometimes are hesitant to, you know, come and talk to police officers, but the Dare cops do a great job. And I've got 14-year-olds at Holgate, so they better come over and talk to the police officers too. I know Brad Wolf, and I would tell him to go seek my kids out, but I'm happy to do it. I hope it makes a difference. And all I want in return is just one free speeding ticket. And Lee Keller's with me. He's my right-hand guy at work, so we're happy to be able to contribute it.
Do you need a speeding ticket written up as well, Lee?
No, I'm good. For right now, I like one in, Peril in the Cloud. We can just have one waiting.
Move to
Dave's
approve.
helped me out back in college, so we can maybe do one forgiven.
Move to approve.
Second. We've got a motion from Councilman Ronayne and a second from Councilman Remley. Any questions for the generous?
So who in the who in the traffic division gets to drive it to pick up speeders? Because I see the highway patrol had one out this last weekend, out on the interstate. So on their Facebook page. So
Maybe if you give it to the parking ticket guy, he wouldn't write so many tickets because he'd be happier. Not have to walk. I mean, not that I get parking tickets, but.
So Ron, if you need, we did something similar with Northern. If you need, I can't forget what the form is called, where I'm going to have to sign it and put a value on it for you to take it in as an asset, just give me a call.
I will.
Here's the title, Dave.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Jordan, would you give us a vote on that one, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lensman,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our possible approval of personnel items related to the finance officer transition process. It's a 4-part process, so I'll walk us through that real quick. The first item will be to accept the resignation of Finance Officer Carl Alberts, which will be effective this week, Friday, March 25th. And I would like to say it makes it seem like he's quitting, but he's retiring after having served the community of Aberdeen for quite a lot of years. So we're happy to have had him and hope that he makes the most out of his retirement. Next, we'll appoint Jordan McQuillan, who you'll see over at the end of the dais, as our interim finance director, effective with a pay period starting on March 27th, the following Monday, and approve a 20% pay increase, which I will say is something that we had worked with him on to ensure that he would be able to accept the additional workload that he's got due to the new responsibilities or double responsibilities. He hasn't got a heck of a lot of help with the things that he's already got going in there, and that pay raise will be effective only for the period of time in which he's doing the 2 positions. Third item will be to remove Carl Alberts as an authorized primary signatory on city accounts, which will be effective on March 25th, and to appoint Jordan to that authorized primary signatory position on the same day, or 2 days later, when he begins on his work on the 27th. And Joe, do you have anything to add to that?
I think that pretty much sums it up. Again, yes, kind of to chime in, Carl's been here almost 25 years. We would have hit 25 years, so that's impressive. Myself and the staff, we're behind Jordan in this interim period, and we'll be bringing you here in the future some discussion on the full-time transition and how to move about filling that position on a full-time basis. But I'm supportive and recommend approval on all of these actions.
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Remley. Have we got any questions from the council?
Are we doing all these together?
We'll want to do them all separately.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
I do have one question.
Go ahead, Dave.
I see in the packet that it talks about maybe October before fill on the spot. Is it really going to take that long?
You know, the kicker was a couple of things. Is we're getting ready to start budget session right now. The auditors are in. That's a big time for Jordan. We're getting ready to start the budget. would it be a good time to recruit a finance officer? As we've kind of rolled through this, Jordan and I had a discussion. This was written Tuesday afternoon after we get the news. Since then, we've had some discussions. I think we'll speed that up and maybe move it along a little quicker.
So I will take a motion. How about on just the first item, which would be to accept that resignation, break it into those pieces. I know that we had a motion and a second, but I'll amend that just so that we're taking a voice vote on the first item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Remley to accept that resignation. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion does carry. The second item will be to appoint Jordan as the interim finance officer beginning March 27th, as well as to accommodate a 20% pay raise for the dual responsibilities. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Lunsman and a second from Councilman, is that Johnson? Johnson on that. Any questions on that components of things? All in favor, please say aye.
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 And opposed, nay. Third, we've got the removal of Carl as an authorized primary signatory. Taking place this Friday on March 25th. Can I get a motion to do that?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Renane and a second from Councilman Rux. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And lastly, to appoint Jordan as our authorized primary signatory in his place, taking place that following Monday. Can I
So
get a
moved. Sunday, but that's okay.
Oh. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate that. Strike that from the minutes. And a second.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Renane and a second from Councilman Reinbold to appoint Jordan as our primary signatory. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We've got move right along to our 2022 capital projects update. And Joe, will you kick that off? Or
I will a little bit. I'll kick it off and then I'll turn it over to Rob. And this is just something I think is good to do this time of year. One, to remind the council members you approved a budget last year, what a significant amount of the sales tax revenue will go towards. I know our citizens like to hear about these. So pretty much the first page are mostly Robin's projects, and then I want to just summarize a couple on the back. But we think this will be a bit of a potentially challenging year in some projects more than others. And Robin, why don't you move us through this list?
Okay, well, as we always do, we'll work on the chip and seal. That'll be east of Lawson, south side of town. We are right up against the budget limit right now with all the materials that we've bid. The materials are costing us more, but we do have enough to do everything that we had planned on doing as part of that project. Curb and gutter, that will be in that area also, as well as some of the stuff down in the southeast part of town, or southwest part of town. That one will be bid. Are we doing that bid in 2 weeks, Stu? Yeah. That one will, we'll see where the bidding goes on that. As Joe said, the challenge is going to be how much things are going to cost and how much we're able to actually complete as part of that project or any of these projects this time around. But we do expect costs to be higher. Concrete road repairs, right now we're planning on doing 8th Avenue Northeast, and that was something that we had carried over from last year. We are still searching some solutions on making sure that once it's done long term. We don't want to have any hiccups on it when it's done. We'll also be doing the quadrant project as we do annually. We have a number of those to pick up, and we are just about through the non-compliant quadrants at this point, and then we'll be moving into the partially compliance, which are the ones that only have a ramp but do not have the truncated domes for those that are visually impaired. Tomorrow we will be bidding both what we call the Klein Street upgrade, but that will be Dakota Street from 15th Avenue going out to Moccasin Creek, and hopefully we've got enough money to do something on North Klein, and that's going to be a recurring theme here. we're concerned about where the prices are gonna be going. We'll see where the bidding goes, starting tomorrow. And also, we'll be bidding the Dakota Street project tomorrow, and that will be from 8th Avenue Northeast, basically to the tracks, south to the tracks. We're planning on doing a traffic signal installation, and similar to what ended up this past year, it would be something that we would bid, and we would expect completion sometime around the first of the year when that is done. But this would be out by that 3M corner. We'll be doing some stormwater and sanitary sewer pipelining this year. That will be bid here in the next month or so, and that would be something that we would see completed this fall and into next spring. 10th Avenue Bridge replacement, we are planning on starting the actual engineering on it, and we will be bringing that contract to you here in the next week or so. And I think that covers my...
Good, thanks. Just a few other things, and again, kind of the theme is, will all of this work be able to be done in 2022? The airport project, there's a general aviation apron project, and really the first reason why I put this on is it's good news because most of the funding comes from the FAA on that, and that's good news. Probably the way the funding structures and how we will get it, this is probably going to be a 23 project more so than a 22. So the 22 is finalizing the funding and then be ready to move forward. Under the wastewater, there is funding allocated for the treatment plant expansion to do the design and engineering. I'm hoping in the next couple months we have some news on some funding, and maybe that might move the construction up. But really, that's probably a 23 to 25 type of timeline there. It'll be multi-year. A new water tower project to be constructed on the north side of northeast part of town. Hopefully we'll move along on that. That's been a project that has had several snags, and it just seems like we keep finding one. So right now we're trying to decide if the site we have kind of projected is the best site. And then I put this on here really for the mayor and a few of you council members. I think at one point in time there was a little push to lobby for a restroom facility at Holgate in their athletic complex. And there's a former pool building there, mechanical building, that is going to be transferred into a restroom facility, restroom and storage. And the school has agreed to partner on that. And that's a great project that I know people wanted. So I wanted to throw that on there. And that's a good summary of where we think we'll be in 22.
Thank you very much, Joe and Robin. Appreciate the updates, and I would like to state that I will not be the only one using this restroom, and I did not personally recommend that we build a restroom for my own personal use by any means. This was something that I get a lot of community interest in due to the pickleball and tennis court usage up there. So with that, we'll move along to our possible approval of a 3-year air carrier lease with SkyWest Airlines, and here to tell us about that is Transportation Director Rich Krokel. Rich, what have you got?
Well, thank you, Mayor. We had our airport board meeting on March 3rd, and we discussed the lease. There were some, what I would call modest price increases on our end. Areas that required not much maintenance were 11% increase. Custodial areas such as offices and their break rooms and stuff, we went up to 15%, and that was to try to help cover some of our costs on custodial products. We also increased fuel flowage fee from 3 cents to 4 cents per gallon pumped, and that's consistent with all the FBO leases now. So everybody's consistent going forward on that. And we also increased the term of the lease to 3-year, and that was favorable with USDOT. So we recommend approval.
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Ronayne. Does anyone in the council have any questions for Rich on this one? All right, then Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Lensman.
Aye.
Reif.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Reinbold.
Aye.
Langer.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Thanks for joining us, Rich. Next, we'll move along to our request to enter a contract with HDR for the traffic study of the intersection of Highway 12 and South Main Street for the amount of $30,600. Robin, tell us about that study.
Okay, well, we went through a process of trying to make sure that we could find a qualified engineering firm to help us with this study. We did include the SDDOT to make sure that whoever did this project at South Main and 6th Avenue would meet the qualifications of what the Department of Transportation required. We did interview 2 engineering firms. The engineering firm that we are recommending is HDR out of Sioux Falls. And their revised number, they did bring in a new number for us because they are contemplating the potential of needing to do some things with some additional intersections. So they did come in with a number of $31,600 as being their number for the additional study that they're anticipating. So we would recommend approving HDR and their number of $31,600.
Move to approve with the amended increase number.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilwoman Langer. Any questions for Robin on this one? Everyone is excited about the two-way main, so hopefully they complete this.
That will be part of this study, is they are going further up into the corridor than just doing the intersection right there. So they are looking at some additional traffic flow.
Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lensman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our possible approval to award the rodent control services bid to Tim Reed for the amount of $6,250.
This is the same dollar amount as last year. The person that executed this was Tim Reed last year. It has been a successful program for us. The levee was in pretty tough shape with the amount of gopher activity that was taking place. And with this trapping program, it has improved significantly over the last several years. So we recommend approval of this and hope that we're as successful this year as we have been in the past.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Reinbold. Any questions on this one? Councilman Johnson. Oh, did you have the second?
He has a second.
Oh, sorry
Second
about that.
and a question.
Second and a question.
So looking at the bid, when we top 150, is that the end of the contract and we stop trapping?
No, this is a unit price contract,
Okay.
so he is getting paid the same amount. And if there's 0 gophers, he's getting paid nothing. And if he's successful in nabbing them, then we're able to compensate him for that effort. So it is for whatever he ends up doing over the course of time.
It'll be at those unit prices ending December 31st.
Right, and the bottom line is this is not just for the levy. This is actually for our code enforcement folks. It's for Parks and Rec.
Right.
We're doing this as a citywide thing, so when we get complaints, we try to deal with them.
Thank you.
Any other questions? It's nice to see that inflation hasn't trickled down to gopher catching just yet. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lensman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible approval of payment for the Elm Lake Dam project to the South Dakota School and Public Lands Department for the amount of $1 million. Robin, what about that $1 million?
I don't know if Joel will want to weigh in on this, but this is the largest donation we've ever made, I believe, at one crack anyway. This actually is not our property, but we did agree a number of years ago to help the state with completion of this project, as it is very important for the city of Aberdeen and its water supply. So School and Public Lands is asking for the $1 million that we had committed to now, and they have spent way more than that in the process of doing this first phase. So, and it is moving along very well. So we look forward to completion, and we recommend approval of the $1 million payment to School and Public Lands.
Move approval.
Second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Reinbold. Any questions for Mr. Bobzien? Councilman Rux.
This project, is it winding down? Or, because I see the spillway at Mina is finished, is this one ready to go? Should we get that influx of water?
And we have seen an increase. They do have coffer dam up right now to prevent it from going over that. They are anticipating within the next week or two removing that coffer dam, but at the present time we are releasing water from Elm Lake Dam to lower water levels. They have increased by somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 feet over the last week, and so they are doing what they can to lower that level so they can remove that coffer dam.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the request to approve the purchase of Unitrends 9024 Recovery Appliance Unit at the total price of $23,119.58 for the Computer Services Department. And Jordan, will you tell us about that in Carl's absence here?
Absolutely. This is a budgeted expense to replace an existing unit. The server is reaching the end of its life, and this will allow us to replace it with a new machine that should last us for several years.
Moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Rux. Does anyone have any questions about this server? All right, then Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote on that purchase then, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the possible approval of payments for the work on the airport improvement projects, as well as to authorize the city manager to sign those pay requests. Payment number 14 for taxiway geometry to Helms for $88.30 and 8 cents. Payment number 6 for the GA apron project to Helms for $515 and 2 cents. And finally, payment number 28 for the taxiway geometry to Helms, also for $3,712 and 45 cents. Rich, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. These are all part of the General Aviation Taxiway Geometry Improvement Project. This was that project that we did last year. It was 100% fully funded by the federal government, which required no city match on that. So the first one, agenda item 6M1 is for phase 1 design services. 6M2 is for resident engineering, and the 6M3 agenda item is for administration observation services while at the airport.
Move to approve all 3 payments.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Johnson and a second from Councilman Rux. Any questions for the Transportation Director? Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the review and approval of the bills for March 21st. As always, you may abstain from individual items if you see fit. Can I get a motion to pay those bills?
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Lunsman and a second from Councilman Remley. Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the city manager's report here to tell us about that is Joe Gaa.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Some good employee milestones. First, those who made employee anniversaries in March. We have 2. Lucas Lesher in the Forestry Division over in Parks and Rec got 10 years. And then a big one, 20 years in the Fire Department, Mario Gord. And I have to tell you, I was over there. His shift gave him a really nice party. Nice being kind of an interesting word because they had a recliner setting out for him because apparently that's what old firefighters need. But they threw him a nice party, and I know he loved it. They had a neat scrap put together, so they really made that one good. And then also, something that I think is just notable, we send employees to training all the time, and there's different levels of training. And today, Sergeant Tony Bisbee over in the police department returned from the FBI National Academy, which is a really interesting experience. I know he's not the first one in our department. Chief McNeil has been there. Captain John Dale's been there. And it's just a really good, it's an academic program. It's a physical program. It kind of ties you back. You're in a part of the nation with a lot of history, so that kind of spurs into how you spend some of your spare time. And he gave us a really good hour and 15-minute presentation on his 9-week experience, and that was great. But we appreciate all the hard work that he put in. That was 9 weeks away from his family, so probably we should thank his wife and kids as much as we did him for representing us at this. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Joe. Those recognitions are always good. So Lucas, Mario, and of course Sergeant Bisbee, thanks for putting in the time here at the City of Aberdeen. Anyone else have anything before we move to adjourn this meeting? I'd take a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Lunsman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We are adjourned. Thank you all for joining us.